Welcome back everyone, my name is Wessel and today I'm going to do a review about my trip through Luxembourg. Now, the chronological order of the episodes can be seen here on the map next to me. We started in the north west near the Upper Sur artificial lake, and then we went to Bourscheid, Vianden, south to Berdorf and a bit back west to La Rochette, and then south to Niederanven, Luxembourg City and to Dudelange. As always, I will rank the episodes based on how much I enjoyed them. In 7th place was the episode from Niederanven to Luxembourg City. And even though the inner city of Luxembourg was pretty nice and the casemates were a very interesting place to visit, the forest that I walked through and the first parts of the city of Luxembourg that I walked through were not that pretty. In 6th place was the episode from Luxembourg City to Dudelange, which was a pretty flat episode, but nonetheless I had a few pretty nice viewpoints along the way. From atop the Ginzenberg, however, I did not have much of a view over the surroundings, so that was a little bit sad. But other than that, it was a very enjoyable hike. In 5th place was the episode from La Rochette to Niederanven. And this episode started off near La Rochette with some rock formations, and the forests and fields along this hike were, pretty nice. However, the episode did miss the charm that the previous episodes had, so that's why it's not higher on the list. Also, the natural area known as Arnest was a nice place to visit with some wild orchids. In 4th place was the episode from Vianden to Berdorf. And the first part of this hike took me along the Our and the Sur, and even though there weren't that many hills on that part of the hike, the views were very nice. Also, near the end of this hike, there were already a few rock formations as a prelude to the upcoming episode, which I really enjoyed. In 3rd place was the episode from Bourscheid to Vianden, and this was the hilliest of all 7 episodes. There were a few major climbs during this episode, and I've seen 3 castles, of which I visited 2. I did not visit Castle Bourscheid, but I did visit Brandenburg and Vianden, so I also saw a lot of history in this episode. And the viewpoints along this hike were pretty amazing. In 2nd place there was the episode from Lac de la Haute-Sur to Bourscheid, and this was a long but very beautiful hike. The view over the Upper Sur lake was really amazing. I saw the Droite de Dieu, which is a very curious rock formation, and there was one very large ascent during this hike. That was a little bit heavy, especially since that was near the end of the hike, but from atop that hill the viewpoint was amazing. In 1st place was the episode from Berdorf to La Rochette, and this hike was in 2 parts. There was the Mullertal region with incredible, slightly claustrophobic rock formations that you had to walk through, and of course the Schießentümpel waterfall, which was really beautiful. And the second part was the flatter plateau between the Mullertal and La Rochette, which was a little bit less impressive, but it was still enjoyable. And also Castle La Rochette was an interesting place to visit. So all in all, it was a very successful journey through Luxembourg. Even though the hikes were a little bit longer than I had expected. I visited basically everything I wanted to see in Luxembourg. However, if I had to add anything to the journey, it would have been either Ueli near the Mulletal region, or the Redlands of Minette in the south. My next trip is already planned, and I will leave within about a week of posting this video. The videos of the next journey will appear a little bit less often than the past year, because I will have less capability to travel in the upcoming years. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I have inspired you to travel to Luxembourg. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you all next time.